Who are the strongest characters in every Dragon Ball arc? I mean, Dragon Ball had some incredible arcs throughout the years, and in each of these arcs, not only new and overpowered characters were introduced, but our current protagonists were receiving further power-ups as well. But having said that, which characters were the strongest ones in each arc? Well, today we'll explain as well as rank the top 3 strongest characters of each Dragon Ball arc. And if you think this is an easy task, well, give me your top 3 strongest characters for the Tournament of Power. I'll wait.
2,000 years later.
Which one are you leaving out? Frieza? Kefla? Gohan? It? And that's not even the full list. So, well, just give it a few minutes, and we'll get there as well. Where should we start from? Obviously, the very beginning, the Emperor Pilaf Saga. Here we're introduced to a young adventurous boy named Goku, who meets a smart and curious girl called Bulma. Together, they set out on a quest to find the 7 mystical Dragon Balls, which can summon the powerful dragon Shenron to grant any wish. The story follows Goku and Bulma as they encounter strange enemies, form new friendships, and try to stop Pilaf's evil plans while uncovering the secrets of the Dragon Balls. So how about the strongest characters here? Well, here our job is probably the easiest when compared with the rest of the arcs we're gonna present. After all, the power scale in the beginning is pretty grounded. I'd give number 3 to Yamcha. Unironically, he was probably the strongest actual opponent Goku had fought up until that point. Number 2 is, of course, Master Roshi. To be fair, he didn't actually fight during this arc, but he did put out a mountain-sized fire with a Kamehameha, while also accidentally destroying that mountain along with the fire. That's the clearest raw power display, outside of Great Ape Goku, that we saw so far. And speaking of Great Ape Goku, he's number 1. Goku himself was still very rough around the edges, so we can't put him himself over Master Roshi, but his Great Ape form, which is 10 times stronger than him, is obviously way stronger. Now, this is just the first of the 33 arcs we're going to cover, and to keep things straightforward, let's lay down some quick rules. We'll only cover characters who actually fight, or at least show their power, and we'll only consider the strength they show in that arc. Otherwise, well, things would have been unfair for some characters in that case. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep going. With that being said, let's continue with the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai Saga. This is where Dragon Ball first started giving battle shonen vibes. Goku's now a bit older and stronger, and he enters the World Martial Arts Tournament to test his skills against powerful fighters from all over the world. The tournament is full of intense battles, surprising twists, and overall, this is where Goku begins to truly show how much he's grown as a martial artist. The third strongest character we have here is Nam. This man was by far the strongest side character in this arc. I mean, he went toe-to-toe with Goku during the semi-final match, and although he lost, he was very close. Number 2 is Goku. He did exceptionally well against Nam, and pushed Jackie Chun to the absolute limit. Like, literally. Heck, the fight was so close that Toriyama had to bring out the moon to force Goku into transforming into the Great Ape. And that brings us to the number 1 of this arc, Jackie Chun, as in Master Roshi. He easily defeated Yamcha, defeated Krillin, and then fought Goku in the finals. As I said, it was very close until Goku transformed. But even then, Jackie Chun was able to pull out a massive Kamehameha that destroyed the moon just to revert Goku back to normal. This was an insane feat, especially back in the day. Moving on to the third arc, we have the Red Ribbon Army Saga. Goku sets off on a new adventure after the tournament, aiming to find the remaining Dragon Balls. Along the way, he runs into the sinister Red Ribbon Army, a powerful and ruthless organization obsessed with collecting the Dragon Balls for their own evil plans. Goku basically ends up dismantling an entire global military organization, but on the downside, the consequences were disastrous, because this is what ultimately leads to Dr. Gero creating the androids, but more on that later. For now, number 3 is General Blue. He was the Red Ribbon Army's strongest officer. He had superhuman strength, almost on par with Goku, and powerful psychic eyes that could paralyze opponents. He had Goku paralyzed, but then a random mouse broke his concentration. Number 2 is Mercenary Tao, and he was an absolute monster. Now, this may be debatable, but I'd argue he was the first real aura farmer we saw in an anime. What am I talking about? Well, he throws a pillar over 2,300 kilometers and rides it to his destination. Yeah, bro definitely wanted to flex here. For what it's worth, Goku wasn't able to defeat him the first time, and if it wasn't for the 4-star Dragon Ball, Goku would have died. Still, after Goku's power-up from training with Korin, he becomes strong enough to defeat Mercenary Tao, and therefore gets the top spot of this arc. Then we have the Fortune Teller Baba Saga next. This is where Goku and the gang visit Fortune Teller Baba to find the last Dragon Ball, and well, they face 5 fighters. This is how I'd rank the top 3 of this arc. Number 3 is Devilman. This guy had the Devil Might Beam designed to destroy hatred-filled hearts. Of course, the beam didn't work on Goku because he's pure of heart, but against most other characters, it's an instant one-shot. Yeah, Devilman's hacks is diabolical.
That was diabolical.
I mean, literally. Number 2 is Goku. He one-shots Mummy, who had just destroyed Yamcha. He shrugs off Devilman's Devil Might Beam thanks to his pure heart, basically defeats 3 of Baba's fighters in a row, and even holds his own in a fast-paced fight against his resurrected Grandpa Gohan. Except, of course, number 1, Grandpa Gohan. His fight with Goku is pretty fun, to be fair. He counters Goku's techniques and even exploits Goku's tail weakness by slamming him around and then straight up breaking it off. I'd say they were pretty close, but Grandpa's experience and technique put him above Goku and everyone else in this arc. The next arc in line is the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament, and I'm gonna say this in the most unbiased language possible. The top 3 of this arc are extremely close. Here, Goku reunites with his friends to compete again and show how much stronger they've become. But this time, the competition is more intense as mysterious new fighters from the Crane School enter the scene, including the cold and powerful Tien Shinhan. Just hear me out. Number 3 is Jackie Chun, as in Master Roshi. He fights Tien in the semifinals, and it's so close, in fact, he forces Tien to rethink his entire approach to fighting. Ultimately, he admits defeat and steps out of the ring just to let Tien advance, and so that the younger generation can battle it out. Now, number 2 is again Goku. He pushes Tien to the absolute brink, and although he loses, it's only because Tien blows up the ring with Tri-Beam. Then, both are in the air. Whoever falls first loses. But unfortunately, Goku ends up crashing into a trunk and thus steps out of the ring before Tien. Still, Tien does win the tournament, so we have to put him at number 1. Moving on to the 6th arc, it's finally the King Piccolo Saga. This is where things get dark, in the sense that this is where Krillin is killed for the very first time in the story. Thus, Goku sets out for revenge, only to uncover a terrifying threat, King Piccolo, an ancient and evil demon who once tried to conquer the world. Now resurrected, King Piccolo begins his rampage to gather the Dragon Balls and restore his youth. Starting at number 3, we've got Drum. He's King Piccolo's most powerful child, and he absolutely wrecks Tien. Yeah, Tien, who was the strongest in the previous arc, doesn't even get a proper fight. Drum's so fast that Tien can barely react, let alone land a single hit. Number 2 is King Piccolo himself. He was already absurdly strong, but after he wishes for eternal youth, yeah, this guy becomes a menace. He beats Goku, kills Shenron, and destroys West City without breaking a sweat. He also made sure to aura farm. I mean, he literally takes over the world and declares May 9th as Piccolo Day. But still, at number 1, Goku was eventually stronger. He beats Drum so bad that Drum's eyes pop out, and during his fight with King Piccolo, he blasts a hole right through King Piccolo's chest. If that's not turning Piccolo into a donut, then I don't know what is. Alright, fast forward to 3 years later. We have the 23rd Martial Arts Tournament, also known as Piccolo Jr. Saga. Goku returns as a young adult, stronger and more mature than ever. Among the fighters is Piccolo Jr., the reincarnation of King Piccolo, who seeks revenge and world domination. As far as power scaling goes now, well, it's pretty straightforward, to be honest here. I mean, number 3 is Tien. He's able to keep up with a non-serious Goku and manages to land a solid hit on him even after Goku takes off his weights. Plus, he basically one-shots Mercenary Town. Number 2 is Piccolo, the greatest aura farmer in anime history.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Let me also point out that Piccolo isn't actually King Piccolo's child. He's his reincarnation. This is something a lot of fans actually get wrong, but it's important if you want to understand why Piccolo is so much stronger than other spawns. But how strong is he? Well, he was able to trap Kami using the reverse Mafuba technique, and gave Goku what could arguably be considered the best fight in OG Dragon Ball. He even pierced Goku's shoulder and pulled out a crazy super giant form during the fight. But of course, number 1 is still Goku. This is the only time in the entire Dragon Ball storyline that Goku actually wins the World Martial Arts Tournament. This is the first and the last time. After training with Kami, Goku returns to participate in the tournament. He beats Tien right after getting serious, and then also beats Piccolo. The fight ends with Goku landing a flying headbutt that knocks Piccolo out cold. And that brings us to the first arc of Dragon Ball Z, the Saiyan Saga. Goku learns he's not just a strong martial artist, but a member of an alien warrior race called the Saiyans. His long-lost brother Raditz arrives arrives on Earth with a warning. 2 even more powerful Saiyans are coming. Of course, some fans might say that the Raditz Saga is technically the first arc of DBZ. So if that's you, let me just give you the picks of the Raditz sub-arc. These would be Piccolo, Goku, and Raditz, with Gohan as an honorable mention. So for the Saiyan Saga now, at number 3, it's Nappa. As we saw, Piccolo, Tien, Chaozu, Krillin were nothing against him. He tanks Tien's Tri-Beam and manages to dodge Krillin's Destructo Disc. He started off with killing thousands of civilians in East City. Then he did it again, and then also destroyed much of the Earth's military. Of course, killing civilians or even soldiers in Dragon Ball Z doesn't actually count as a feat. So let me add that he's responsible for the deaths of Tien, Chaozu, and Piccolo. Overall, Nappa felt like an impossible wall until Goku arrived and beat him. Coming in at number 2, it's Goku using Kaioken times 4. Goku pushes himself to the absolute max with this technique and reaches a theoretical power level of 32,000.
It's over 9,000!
He even overpowers Vegeta's Gallic Gun in an epic beam clash, but the backlash on his body renders him defenseless, which is why he was unable to win this legendary first fight against Vegeta. This means Vegeta is number 1. But wait, Vegeta's power level was around 18,000. How is he above Goku's power level of 32,000? Well, you see, Goku's power level was actually in the 8,000s. Now, with Kaioken times 4, Goku peaks at 32,000 something, but Vegeta surpasses him using his Great Ape form, which multiplies his base of 18,000 by 10 and takes his total power level to 180,000. He did lose his tail though, and he never exactly won, but overall, given his Great Ape form, he has to be our number 1 rank for this arc. Alright, we're moving on to the Namek Saga next. Team Goku travels to the distant planet Namek in search of its Dragon Balls to bring back their fallen friends. But they're not the only ones after them, as Frieza, one of the most feared beings in the universe, is already there, hunting the Dragon Balls for his own wish, immortality. I'd say number 3 is Dodoria here. This pink blob was casually outdone and killed by Vegeta. He's here solely because of his status as one of Frieza's top 2 henchmen. Number 2 is Zarbon. He defeats Vegeta even though Vegeta had a power level of around 24,000 at that time. I mean, Vegeta was definitely a little stronger than base Zarbon, but Zarbon had a monster form that further boosted his power level to the point where he could take Vegeta with ease. Still, Vegeta is number 1 of this arc because after he recovers from the first battle against Zarbon, he gains a Zenkai boost that takes his power level to 30,000, and then he's easily able to defeat Zarbon. Moving on to the Captain Ginyu Saga. Just as Gohan, Krillin, and Vegeta make progress, Frieza calls in his elite squad, the Ginyu Force. At number 3, it's Vegeta again. Goku's involvement or not, he personally kills Goldo, Birder, Rikum, and Chase. That's 4 out of the 5 Ginyu Force members. I wouldn't put him above Captain Ginyu yet though. So yeah, number 2 is Captain Ginyu himself. As the leader of the Ginyu Force, he had a power level of around 120,000 and was even able to change bodies with Goku using his body change technique. But the fact that he chose Goku's body over his own is the greatest confirmation that he was way below Goku. Unfortunately, his power level in Goku's body drops to just 23,000 because he didn't know anything about Goku's ki control. Now it's been a while, but Goku is back to taking the number 1 spot. After training at 100 times the Earth's gravity on a spaceship, he reaches a base power level of 90,000. He can further increase it to 180,000 using Kaioken times 2. And let me also point out that even though Vegeta landed the final blows, it was actually Goku who really crushed the Ginyu Force. Moving on to the Frieza Saga. And just to spoil it a bit, I'm actually going to do a top 4 instead of a top 3 here. So with that being said, number 4 is Piccolo. After he fuses with Nail, he had already experienced a boost thanks to his training with King Kai. But after that, he became truly strong. He completely overpowers Frieza's second form, which had a power level of around 1 million. I'd say it's speculated that Piccolo's true power level at that time was 1.2 million. Number 3 is Vegeta. After all the Zenkai boosts, especially after Dende healed him from Krillin's point-blank energy blast, Vegeta reached a total power level enough to even manage and surprise Frieza with his strength. But unfortunately, Frieza at that time was already in his final form. So despite that insane power level, Vegeta got destroyed to the point that he died with tears in his eyes. Number 2 is Frieza. He tanked Kaioken times 20 from Goku at just 50% of his true power. He tanks the Spirit Bomb and then even holds his own against Goku's Super Saiyan once he reveals his true power level. However, the gap between him and Goku was simply too much at that point. So number 1 is Goku. After Frieza blows up Krillin, Goku achieves arguably the most iconic form in anime history, the Super Saiyan. Goku has now reached a point where it was physically impossible for Frieza to beat him. The 12th arc in line is the Trunks Arrival Saga. Just as the Z Fighters prepare for Frieza's return to Earth, a mysterious young warrior with a sword appears from the sky. In a flash, he effortlessly defeats both Frieza and his father, King Cold, shocking everyone. This fighter is Trunks, a Super Saiyan from the future, and he brings a grave warning. Deadly androids will soon appear and destroy everything. At number 3 is Mecha Frieza. After basically dying on Namek, Frieza got rebuilt with microwave parts and became even stronger. He even pulled out a supernova attack that was stronger than before. Also, let me just point out that the data books confirm King Cold is actually weaker than him. I mean, King Cold's power level is speculated to be 60 million, which is less than half of Frieza's, which is estimated at 140 million at the time. Still, both get easily defeated by future Trunks, who's at number 2. He slices Frieza into multiple pieces until Frieza's beyond repair, and then he evaporates King Cold with an energy blast. But of course, Goku's at number 1 again. He got stronger during the 1 year of training on Yard Rat, and also learned instant transmission. And even if you disagree with this, let me just add that after Trunks asks for a duel between them, Goku blocks Trunks' sword with just a single finger. Like, not even 2 fingers, just 1. The 13th arc in line is the Android Saga, which is just the first of the 4 arcs that fall under the Cell storyline. The Z Fighters prepare for the arrival of the deadly enemies Trunks warned them about, but when the androids finally appear, nothing goes as expected. They're not the same ones Trunks knew, and they're even more dangerous. I've given number 3 of the Android Saga to Vegeta. After grinding hard at 450 times Earth's gravity and getting sentimental while staring at the moon, not to mention plenty of cries.
I wanna be a Super Saiyan! I wanna!
Vegeta now finally achieves Super Saiyan, and he absolutely clowns the same Android 19 whom Goku had trouble against. Though, to be fair, Goku was severely nerfed because of his virus. Plus, Android 19 also absorbed his energy. Still, Vegeta's glory doesn't last all that long because he loses a lot of aura when Android 18 casually breaks his arm.
Look how they mess with my boy.
And number 2 is Android 18 herself. As I just said, she treats Super Saiyan Vegeta like a joke and breaks his arm just to make him calm down a bit. She and 17 also have unlimited stamina, so there's that as well. And number 1, Android 17. He's stronger than 18, but the two of them are roughly in the same tier, though Super Saiyan Vegeta is a solid tier or 2 below them. On to the Imperfect Cell Saga, where Cell enters the chat. Number 3 is Piccolo after he fuses with Kami. This fusion makes him a Super Namekian, strong enough to force Cell to retreat and fight Android 17 to a stalemate despite 17's unlimited stamina. Plus, keep in mind that during Piccolo's first fight with Cell, he was able to make Imperfect Cell back off without even taking off his weighted clothes. This was the pinnacle of Piccolo's entire aura farming career in Dragon Ball Z. Now at number 2 is Android 16, the android who was specifically built to kill Goku. He's actually considered Earth's strongest before Cell's next form. I mean, he literally fights Cell head to head and even rips off Cell's tail. The two of them were equal. However, Cell was able to get a little stronger than him before reaching his next form. And so, yes, number 1 is Imperfect Cell himself. You see, after his initial fight with Piccolo, he goes on to absorb hundreds of thousands of humans, not to mention the energy he had absorbed from Piccolo. He becomes so strong that he crushes both Piccolo and Android 17. He tanks Piccolo's special beam cannon and light grenade. Still, he was around equal in power to Android 16. The only reason I put him above is because Cell's regeneration capabilities were greater. And now, let's go on and talk about the Perfect Cell Saga. As the name suggests, this is where Cell reaches his perfect form. Number 3 is Vegeta in his Grade 2 Super Saiyan form, also called Ascended Super Saiyan form, or in this case, Super Vegeta. While training in the hyperbolic time chamber, Vegeta figured out how to push beyond the regular Super Saiyan. And let me add that despite the memes, it makes sense why Vegeta felt so invincible at the time. He had jumped from someone who was getting destroyed by Android 18 to a level where he himself was overpowering Semi-Perfect Cell. I'd say Vegeta toys with Semi-Perfect Cell, until of course Cell becomes perfect. Number 2 is Super Trunks. He can also pull off the Ascended Super Saiyan form just like Vegeta, and after Vegeta is defeated, he takes this form further and reveals Super Saiyan Grade 3, which is basically Super Saiyan steroids. He uses this form and apparently overwhelms Perfect Cell, but only until Perfect Cell stops playing along. You see, while this form is a 75 times multiplier, it sacrifices speed for raw power. You should have seen Trunks' face when Cell broke it to him that Vegeta could also use this form, but he didn't because he knew it was useless. Still, it is true that Trunks showed a higher power level than Vegeta, so we're gonna keep him at number 2. Number 1 is Perfect Cell himself. After absorbing both Android 17 and 18, he becomes perfect. Neither Vegeta nor Trunks were a threat to him anymore. In fact, no one, not even Goku, was a threat to him after he achieved his perfection. Next up, we have the Cell Games Saga. Here, Cell has achieved his perfect form and announces the Cell Games to decide the fate of the Earth. Goku and Gohan train in the hyperbolic time chamber, pushing their Super Saiyan powers to new levels. Starting with number 3, we have Goku. He's fully mastered Super Saiyan to the point where he can use it as naturally as his base state. When it comes to fighting Cell, he starts the fight using only about a third to half of his power. When things get serious, he powers up to full Super Saiyan strength, and well, Goku puts up a good fight, but he's just not strong enough. Later, he sacrifices himself by teleporting a swollen, semi-perfect Cell to King Kai's planet to save Earth. Sadly, Cell regenerates, gets even stronger with Super Saiyan 2, learns instant transmission, and then comes back. Thus, at number 2 is Perfect Cell. After blowing himself up, Cell's core survives and he reforms. He regains his perfection and goes further beyond. He becomes stronger than ever thanks to his Saiyan cells. He also learns Goku's instant transmission from Tien cells and uses it to come back to Earth. His power at this point matched Gohan's Super Saiyan 2 level. Still, number 1 is Gohan. After seeing Android 16 die and his friends getting wrecked by the Cell Juniors, Gohan snaps, just straight up explodes with rage, and finally unlocks what Goku was looking forward to all this time, Super Saiyan 2. He one-shots the Cell Juniors and beats the perfection out of Cell so badly that Cell spits out Android 18 and falls back to his imperfect form. Then, even when Cell returns as Super Perfect Cell, who was about as strong as Gohan himself, not to mention Gohan being injured, his father-son Kamehameha finally eliminates Cell for good. Moving on to the Great Saiyaman Saga. Gohan's now a teenager attending high school in Satan City, trying to live a normal life while keeping his powers a secret. To protect the city without revealing his identity, he creates a goofy superhero persona called the Great Saiyaman. I'd say this arc didn't have any serious fights, so it's rather straightforward. Number 3 is Videl. She's a skilled fighter who learns to control her ki and fly thanks to Gohan. She's way stronger than her dad, Mr. Satan, and actively fights crime in Satan City, which means she's an actual fighter, unlike her dad. Number 2 is Goten, the youngest Super Saiyan anyone's seen so far. He surprises Gohan with how strong he is, although the little guy still doesn't know how to fly. Now, obviously, number 1 is Gohan. At this point, he's weaker than he was against Cell, but because other strong characters aren't involved in the power scaling of this arc, we'll put him at number 1. Next is the 25th World Martial Arts Tournament. This one's pretty straightforward too. Number 3 is Goten. He competes in the kids division and makes it all the way to the finals, where he loses to Trunks. And so, number 2 is Trunks. He beat Goten in the final round, but Trunks goes Super Saiyan, so Goten does too. Then Trunks uses his left arm to knock Goten out of the ring, even though he had said he wouldn't use that arm. Sneaky boy, he really is the son of Vegeta, huh? And by the way, Trunks' sparring session with Vegeta technically happened in the previous arc, but since the Great Saiyaman Saga focused entirely on Gohan, it made more sense to leave it out in that context. Speaking of Gohan, he's at number 1 again here, though only because Goku and Vegeta don't fight yet. In fact, they even admit that Gohan is weaker than he was when he fought Cell. Overall, Gohan's Super Saiyan 2 power is used as a power source by Babidi's goons to get enough energy for Majin Buu's revival. However, the tournament arc is cut short, and now the Babidi Saga begins. As Babidi gathers energy to awaken Buu, the heroes battle deadly enemies like Dabura, the king of the demon realm, and struggle with inner conflicts. But how about power scaling wise now? Number 3 is Dabura, the demon king himself. Plus, Dabura's got some nasty tricks, like spit that turned Krillin and Piccolo into statues. He was able to fight Gohan to a stalemate, and overall, I'd say Gohan was rusty because of years of neglect, while Dabura was in his peak condition. So despite the stalemate, Dabura gets the spot over Gohan. Number 2 is Super Saiyan 2 Goku. As mentioned by Vegeta, his Super Saiyan 2 is stronger than the Gohan who beat Cell. He was able to fight on par with Majin Vegeta. Seriously, the fight couldn't have been closer. But ultimately, when Goku was distracted by Majin Buu's energy and tried to talk Vegeta into fighting against Buu, his guard was down, so Vegeta knocked him out. Again, even though Goku could use Super Saiyan 3, we're only counting the power he used during this arc. Still, why put Goku at number 2, you might ask? Well, it's simply because he lost, while Majin Vegeta won. So naturally, number 1 is Majin Vegeta. He let Babidi take control to get a power boost so that he can match Goku's Super Saiyan 2 strength. He even blows up part of the tournament stadium and kills thousands just to get Goku's attention for their fight. And ultimately, he wins. But I'm sure the guilt at that point was stronger than his will to surpass Goku, because Vegeta hugs his son and blows himself up by using Final Explosion against Buu, just to try and get things right. And with that, we reach the Majin Buu Saga. The ancient monster Majin Buu is finally awakened, but instead of a fierce warrior, he appears as a chubby, childlike being with terrifying power. Despite his innocent appearance, Buu is a destructive force, wiping out cities and overpowering even the strongest fighters. Number 3 is Majin Vegeta. He's just as strong as Super Saiyan 2 Goku at the same level, but nothing he does against Majin Buu works, not even sacrificing his own life. He was completely outclassed. Number 2 is Majin Buu. He quite literally eats Dabura for lunch, clowns Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and the Supreme Kai. And as mentioned before, even when Vegeta blows himself up trying to kill him, Buu just regenerates as casually as he breathes. However, Goku also implied that he may have beaten Buu using his Super Saiyan 3 if he'd actually tried. This is why Goku is at number 1 of this arc. His Super Saiyan 3 transformation allowed him to go further beyond anything we'd ever seen, including Majin Buu. I mean, at that exact moment in time when he uses Super Saiyan 3, he's literally the strongest character we've seen so far in the story. He managed to overpower Majin Buu even though he was holding back half of his power. I guess if his time wasn't so limited, he could have gone all out and destroyed Majin Buu right then and there. Now it's time for the Fusion Saga. The battle against Majin Buu reaches a new level of desperation after Buu transforms into Super Buu, gaining intelligence and cruelty. The Z fighters realize they need more than raw power to win. They need to fuse. Using the fusion dance, Goten and Trunks become Gotenks, a cocky but powerful new warrior. Meanwhile, Gohan unlocks his ultimate potential with help from the Elder Kai. It's pretty much the main highlight of the Buu storyline sequence, and so to spoil you a little bit, I'll once again do a top 4 and not just a top 3. Number 4 is Gotenks. He's objectively stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Number 3 is Ultimate Gohan. And just to give you an idea of the overwhelming gap between Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Ultimate Gohan, well, let me tell you that Goten and Trunks personally state that Gohan is stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Yes, Gotenks is stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but Ultimate Gohan is stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. And it's not just statements either. We see it with our own 2 eyes, as Ultimate Gohan absolutely destroys Super Buu, at least until when Buu absorbs Piccolo and Gotenks. Number 2 is Buuhan. He's the Super Buu who has already absorbed Ultimate Gohan, Gotenks, and Piccolo. I know this is gonna sound insane to fans who only watch the anime, but Buuhan is actually the strongest version of Buu in all of Dragon Ball Z. Kid Buu is nothing to Buuhan. However, the number 1 of this arc is the strongest character that ever was introduced in the Dragon Ball Z series. It's Vegito, the fusion of Goku and Vegeta. Even in base form, Vegito could have destroyed Buuhan, but he goes Super Saiyan just to piss Buuhan off even further. Adding to this, even after Buuhan turns him into a ball of candy, he still beats Buuhan with 0 difficulty. And with that, we now reach the Kid Buu Saga. Majin Buu reverts to his original form, Kid Buu, a pure, chaotic force of destruction with no restraint or mercy. Without hesitation, he obliterates Earth and pushes the remaining heroes to their absolute limits. Goku and Vegeta, now fighting on the sacred world of the Kais, must summon everything they have to stop him. And so, number 3 is Majin Buu. He helps installing Kid Buu, just like Vegeta, but because he's still stronger than Vegeta, we're gonna give him the 3rd spot. Number 2 is Kid Buu himself. He was a pure menace without any sense of control. He destroyed Earth and then chased the boys to the afterlife. I mean, you can't make that stuff up. Still, I wouldn't put him above Goku, so number 1 is gonna be Goku again. You see, this is where Goku uses Super Saiyan 3 at its full power, and in terms of raw power, he's a little bit stronger than Kid Buu. However, because of the stamina and Kid Buu's hacks abilities, they ultimately have to rely on the Spirit Bomb. So as Vegeta and Majin Buu stall Kid Buu, Goku gathers energy from every living being across the entire universe to create a Spirit Bomb. And then, thanks to the wish that restores his own energy, he's ultimately stronger than Kid Buu. On to the Peaceful World Saga. Peace at last, right? Here, a mysterious young fighter named Oob, the human reincarnation of Kid Buu, now pure-hearted, appears. Recognizing Oob's potential, Goku decides to leave everything behind and train him to become Earth's next great defender. Number 3 is Gohan's daughter, Pan. She participates in the main tournament as a 4-year-old and beats a grown-ass man. Number 2 is Oob, the reincarnation of Kid Buu. He's not even realized a fraction of his true potential, but a Yo Mama Fat joke from Goku angers him to the point of finally awakening some of of his potential. And number 1 is, of course, Goku. Well, these are the only relevant characters who fight in this final arc of DBZ, after all. Moving on from Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Daima, we have the entire Daima Saga as the 24th arc. Goku and his friends are turned back into children by a powerful unknown force. This bizarre transformation isn't just for laughs though, it's part of a dark plot tied to ancient magic and a new villain lurking in the shadows, Goma. Number 3 is Vegeta. It's revealed that he was able to unlock Super Saiyan 3 off screen, though he calls it Ultra Vegeta 1, not Super Saiyan 3. He uses the form against Tamagami number 2, but it isn't until he reverts back to his adult state that he shows his true power. I mean, he manages to hold his own against evil Third Eye Goma, but he can't finish the fight because of stamina issues. Goma, on the other hand, had unlimited stamina, regeneration, and broken stats thanks to the Third Eye. Plus, when Vegeta's Super Saiyan 3 runs out, Bulma tells him that she won't ever have a bath with him again if he doesn't stop. And yeah, my guy Vegeta stopped right away. Number 2 is evil Third Eye Goma, the Supreme Demon King. He is stated to be the strongest Goku and friends have ever faced. This means that he's stronger than Buhan, the strongest version of Buu. Still, he's definitively weaker than Goku. And so, number 1 is Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Just like how Vegeta unlocked Super Saiyan 3 off-screen, Goku unlocked Super Saiyan 4. He first uses it against Goma in his child state, but doesn't last long because Goma absorbs his energy. But after regaining his adult state, Goku is able to easily overpower Goma. His Kamehameha also wins the Energy Beam Clash and goes on to make a hole through not just Goma's chest, but through all 3 demon realms. Though Goku also runs out of energy first, and ultimately it's Majin Buu, the Sneak, who knocks out Goma. Alright, after Daima, we have all the Dragon Ball Super arcs. The first Dragon Ball Super arc is God of Destruction Beerus Saga. Peace on Earth is shattered when a powerful deity, Beerus, the God of Destruction, awakens from a long slumber. After dreaming of a Super Saiyan God, he travels to Earth to find Goku, hoping for a worthy fight. Number 3 is Enraged Vegeta. He gets washed by Beerus, but after Beerus slaps Bulma, he catches Beerus off guard and actually manages to land a few hits. I mean, in the anime, Beerus admitted that he had to use 10% of his power against Vegeta. This alone means that Vegeta was exponentially stronger than the Super Saiyan 3 Goku who fought Beerus before this. Next, number 2 is Goku in his Super Saiyan God form. After the ritual, he achieves a form that's stronger than Vegito. And this is the first time any Z fighter actually surpasses Vegito. And it was said that the shockwaves from the clashes between Beerus and Goku were strong enough to threaten the universe itself. Still, Goku was only a pastime. I mean, even now in the latest chapter of the manga, none of the Z fighters have come anywhere close to surpassing Beerus. So yeah, number 1 is Beerus. He had his fun against Super Saiyan God Goku, but as I said, Goku is still nowhere close to surpassing Beerus. Now we reach the Golden Frieza Saga. Frieza is resurrected by his loyal soldiers. Seeking revenge on Goku and the Saiyans, Frieza trains for the first time in his life, unlocking a powerful new transformation, Golden Frieza. And I'd put Golden Frieza at number 3. Honestly, it's insane how it only took Frieza 4 months to outright surpass Goku and Vegeta in terms of raw strength. Yes, Golden Frieza at its maximum was stronger than Super Saiyan Blue, but I can't justify putting it above Goku and Vegeta because of how unstable it is. I mean, it's so much worse than the stamina issues of Super Saiyan 3. So yes, at that point in time, Golden Frieza had a higher power level, but he was weaker than Goku and Vegeta overall. And when it comes to Goku and Vegeta, I'm gonna give them both the number 1 spot instead of putting one over the other. This is because at this point, they were basically equal. The only difference was that Goku's the one who landed the final blow using his Kamehameha, because otherwise, Frieza would have destroyed the planet like he did before time was rewound. Now we have the Universe 6 Saga. The multiverse is introduced when Beerus' twin brother, Champa, the God of Destruction from Universe 6, challenges him to a tournament. The prize? The Super Dragon Balls, planet-sized orbs that can grant any wish. Each god selects 5 fighters to represent their universe, and Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and even Managa join Team Universe 7. Number 3 is Vegeta. He destroys Frost and even pushes Kappa to become a Super Saiyan, but ends up getting beaten by Hit's time skip technique though. In the manga, this is mainly because Vegeta didn't know about time skip, and also because using Super Saiyan Blue drained most of his energy. Number 2 is Goku. Now in the anime, Goku uses Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20, but that contradicts how Super Saiyan Blue normally works. So for this video, I'm actually going to stick with the manga version. So in the manga, Goku gets beaten by Hit at first, then powers up to Super Saiyan God so that he can figure out Hit's abilities without using too much stamina. But when Hit powers up further, Goku finally uses Super Saiyan Blue, Ultimately, Goku forfeits because he knew Hit was holding back because of the no-kill rule. So yeah, Hit is at number 1. Hit doesn't lose to either Goku or Vegeta. Plus, it's also true that his skills are optimized for killing, so the no-kill rule was kinda making things difficult for him. And now we have the future Trunks Saga. A mysterious enemy named Goku Black has wiped out nearly all life. Though he looks like Goku, Black is ruthless and godlike with a sinister agenda. Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks travel to the future to confront him, only to discover an even bigger threat, Zamasu, a rogue Supreme Kai apprentice who despises mortals and has used the Super Dragon Balls to swap bodies with Goku. This arc is indeed a bit weird and a lot of details happen differently, so just to simplify things, we're gonna focus on raw power levels for this arc. And considering that, number 3 is Super Saiyan Rage Trunks, equipped with the Sword of Hope. You see, while Fusion Zamasu is overall stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta, future Trunks' Super Saiyan Rage form, combined with the Sword of Hope powered by the spirit of his people, was powerful enough to overwhelm Fusion Zamasu. I mean, in the anime, he straight up slices Fused Zamasu in half. Number 2, however, is Fused Zamasu, the permanent fusion of Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black and Immortal Zamasu. He was literally impossible to kill for the Z-Fighters because in the anime, he ultimately merged with the universe and spread his corruption across timelines. It took Zeno himself for Zamasu to finally be taken down, but the entire multiverse of that timeline was erased with him. Still, if we're talking raw power, Fused Zamasu was inferior to Vegito Blue. I mean, in the manga, he blasted off half of Fused Zamasu in his base. And once he used Super Saiyan Blue, he shows absolute dominance over Fused Zamasu. On to the Tournament of Power, or Universe Survival Saga, as it's also known. Zeno announces the Tournament of Power, a battle royale between 8 universes, with the losing universes facing total erasure. The top 3 of this arc seem rather obvious, until you start overthinking it. Let me first point out that God Toppo humbled Frieza and low-diffed 17. Goku used Ultra Instinct to knock Kefla out in the anime, but in the manga, she and Gohan had a double knockout, and Gohan at the time was weaker than Frieza. So I'd say number 3 is full power Super Saiyan Blue evolved Vegeta. Even after Toppo basically became a destroyer, Vegeta was still able to defeat Toppo with his final explosion. And not just that, in the manga, he sticks around until the final chapter of this arc. Number 2 is Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. He was actually on the verge of eliminating Jiren, but he couldn't handle the backlash from not controlling Ultra Instinct properly. Ultimately, in both the anime and the manga, Frieza jumps in to help eliminate Jiren. So of course, as far as portrayal and objective analysis goes, Jiren is number 1. He was able to handle Goku at his best. Now keep in mind that Jiren is stronger than the god of destruction of his universe, and the only one in the tournament who came remotely close to being a threat was Goku. Alright, the 30th arc is the Broly Saga. After the Tournament of Power, Frieza gathers the Dragon Balls for his own wish, but along the way, he discovers Broly, a Saiyan exile with terrifying potential. Unlike previous versions, this Broly is a tragic figure, raised on a harsh planet and weaponized by his vengeful father, Paragus. At number 3 is Broly himself. He's insane. What he did in this arc was more heinous than any power-up Gohan had ever had. I mean, he goes from getting trolled by base Vegeta to beating Super Saiyan God Vegeta in just a few minutes. He does struggle a bit against Super Saiyan Blue Goku, but after he transforms into Super Saiyan, or should I say, full power Super Saiyan, Broly jumps multiple tiers and reaches a point where he can wash Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta no problem. He also brutally mauls Frieza and was able to hold his own against Gogeta. But yeah, Gogeta Blue is number 2. He starts off against Broly in his base and then goes Super Saiyan, but Broly can still keep up. In fact, it's stated that their battle broke the boundaries of time and space. However, Gogeta ultimately uses Super Saiyan Blue and fires a Limit Ultra Kamehameha meant to kill Broly. It would have truly been over for Broly, but fortunately, Broly was saved by a Dragon Ball wish that sent him back to planet Vampa. Now, who's number 1 of this arc? Well, it's obviously Whis. He's even stronger than Beerus, and in this arc, we see him treat a rage-lusted Super Saiyan Broly like it means nothing. Next up is the Galactic Patrol Prisoner Saga, or simply put, the Moro Saga. Moro is an ancient sorcerer who once threatened the universe and has now escaped from galactic prison. With the ability to absorb life energy from planets and fighters, Moro grows stronger with each battle, threatening to consume the entire galaxy. The way we see it, Perfected Ultra Instinct Moro is the 3rd strongest in this arc. After absorbing Beerus' powers and achieving Perfected Ultra Instinct himself, he was able to fight evenly with Ultra Instinct Goku, but unlike Goku, he didn't have any training to control the power, and so eventually he fuses with Earth itself to stay a threat because he couldn't cope with Beerus' power. Then at number 2 is Goku. This whole arc is about him perfecting Ultra Instinct, and when he does, he beats Moro bad, and even asks him if he's ever done any training. Then even after Moro absorbs Beerus' power, Goku fights him on par. Or actually, Goku's stronger and more more stable, while Moro struggles to control the Ultra Instinct. Next, when Moro merges with Earth and Goku gets energy from he summons a giant Ultra Instinct avatar to hold Moro down so he can destroy the crystal that controls Moro's power. Still, the strongest character of this arc is Beerus. This pick is going to sound controversial, but let me point out that the same power Moro couldn't handle in a single fight was Beerus' natural state. Beerus was also way ahead in Ultra Instinct mastery, considering how he was able to teach Goku to use Ultra Instinct Sign at will in just 6 months. Plus, Beerus was never allowed to go all out because that would get him erased. I mean, that's what happens when he did too much, like how he destroyed Moro's ability to copy others. He was erased for breaking Angel Law. Next is the Granolah the Survivor Saga. Granolah, the last survivor of the Cerealian race, seeks revenge on the Saiyans and Frieza, who were responsible for his people's extinction. Using the Dragon Balls of Planet Cereal, he wishes to become the strongest warrior in the universe at the cost of shortening his own lifespan. But, well, ironically, by the end of the arc, he isn't even in the top 3. Number 3 is Awakened Gas. Alec uses the Cerealian Dragon Balls to make Gas the strongest in Universe 7. This allows him to easily outclass Granolah, Goku, and Vegeta. However, both Goku and Vegeta also grow stronger over the course of the arc, and Goku ultimately surpasses Gas. So yeah, number 2 is True Ultra Instinct Goku. He develops this new Ultra Instinct form as a more personalized version of Ultra Instinct that lets him use his emotions and Saiyan instincts for a power boost instead of suppressing them. This also makes it much more sustainable, though it still drains a lot of energy. Overall, he manages to overpower Gas, who was the strongest in Universe 7, but the gap between Goku at number 2 and who we've got at number 1 is so insane, it's not even funny. Number 1 is Black Frieza. After training for 10 years inside a hyperbolic time chamber, Frieza enters the chat with a new transformation called Black Frieza. This form is obviously on a different level compared to any level of Golden Frieza, but the craziest part is how it also fixes any and all of the stamina issues. He kills Gas with a single blow and one-shots both Goku and Vegeta while they're at their strongest forms. And for the final arc of today's video, the Superhero Saga. Reborn under new leadership and determined to get revenge on the Saiyans, the Red Ribbon Army returns. They secretly create 2 powerful new androids, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, along with a hidden ultimate weapon, Cell Max. This one's actually pretty straightforward. Number 3 is Orange Piccolo. This is Piccolo's first transformation where he actually changes colors. In truth, it's a gift he receives from Shenron. As for his strength, he's able to easily defeat Gamma 2, and even held his own against Cell Max for longer than any of us expected. Number 2 is Cell Max. He is Dr. Hedo's version of Cell, and it is said that if he was completed, even Broly wouldn't have been able to defeat him. Though, because of his premature activation, he turned out to be a rampaging maniac. Ultimately, Cell Max is obliterated by Beast Gohan's Special Beam Cannon. So, Beast Gohan is number 1. Gohan was able to practically destroy Cell Max after awakening this state. Plus, Whis suggests Gohan as a candidate for God of Destruction. I mean, having Whis vouching for you is like crazy. Not gonna lie. Click on this video next, where I'm ranking as well as explaining all Dragon Ball fusions we saw throughout the years. Go on, check it out!